For those of you that recognize me, I'm a bit flattered, but once again, I'm Daryl Hungry Cast Lim, and alongside me, we do have a new face. It's part of the program that we're trying to do here at Skoga, get some new faces out, get some new talent across, and for those of you that don't recognize him, this is Terrence Off Night Chan, my color caster for today.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, so we do have some matches for you today. Of course, the day started out very early, and we had Singapore Polytechnic and Temasek Polytechnic playing off earlier today, and we're going to be covering the tiebreakers as well as the finals to determine the respective representatives for each school. Just to walk you guys through the format of Campus Legends, this is something that fans of the scene might have recognized from back in the day. But essentially, it is a tournament for the Institute of Higher Learnings, the different tertiary institutions in Singapore. So you have your normal polytechnics, you have the ITEs, and you have the universities as well.
So, looking at these teams, we are looking to see which team represent their respective schools, and
Right.
going through it, they will. This is actually the tiebreakers for to see which team qualifies, and they will be playing against each other schools.
Yeah, so of course, as you mentioned or alluded to, the idea is that they will be sort of playing in their respective qualifiers to determine which team is going to represent which school, and then the representatives will face off in a group stage leading up to the crowning of the Campus Legends champion, which will happen later in August. So, of course, guys, for your all your information needs, for information resources, all that, do follow Skoga on Facebook, follow us on Twitch, and maybe on Twitter as well. We have a bunch of social media outlets for you guys to keep up with and get all the information that you need. And of course, just to remind our viewers that the signups are still open. You can still sign up for all the tournaments that haven't been played yet. Of course, leading up to it, the signups were closed earlier, but generally, it's open. Our guys here have been trying very avidly to push for more teams to play, because with the wider playing field, it does mean that we do have more tournaments and more games for you guys to watch. We should have the brackets coming up for you guys in a couple of seconds, so once that is up, we'll probably try to walk through what has happened today. Maybe you can lend me some expert insight on what's going on, Terrence. Hopefully we can get that bracket up for you. Like we mentioned today, we will be broadcasting a tiebreaker and 2 best of 3s. So Terrence is going to be joining me today, and then following that, we have a couple other casters that rotate in and try to hand at seeing what goes on today. So walk me through this. What do you think about the results so far?
So far, currently, 3 teams have gotten their matches: Applied Chemistry, T11 11 Square, and Kill Is Love.
Mm-hmm.
While the teams ActuallyBots, NeedThatJacket, and Team Crazy Poros have lost their games.
Right.
So now we are looking at which teams going forward.
Yeah, so just to recap a bit as well, right? Like you mentioned, T11 Square have won all of their matches, right? So that puts them solidly in first place, and they will be playing in the best of 3 later on. Right now, we are determining the tiebreakers between ActuallyBots and NeedThatJacket, who are at 2 wins and 1 loss apiece. So moving forward, it's going to be a best of 1 between these 2 teams to determine who's going to be playing against T11 Square in the finals best of 3. For those of you that are from Singapore Polytechnic, you recognize the name T11 Square as the block in the center of the school next to the gym. When I first saw that, I was like, it looks familiar, because I used to be from SP as well, and I had to double check with my friends from back then. But yes, that is a allusion to the block in Singapore Polytechnic. So NeedThatJacket and ActuallyBots, not really sure where the ideas for names came up from, but very creative nevertheless.
Maybe NeedThatJacket as a Need That Challenger Jacket.
Yeah, right. Like you said, maybe need the challenger jacket. Of course, there are some players on teams here that are challenger caliber, so we should be looking to them to see whether they can make the plays. Guys, we are in Champ Select, so we've been waiting quite a while today for the first match. Excited to see what the teams have here for us. Right now, on the blue team, it's going to be NeedThatJacket, and on the red team is ActuallyBots. We'll see if they actually are, bot caliber, or if they are jacket caliber. Big picks and bans underway. We see the Hecarim as well as the Sejuani being banned out by NeedThatJacket. And on the red side, Jarvan banned out. Wonder if Rek'Sai is going to be the next target here. A lot of jungle focus thus far.
So looking at this, it seems like both of the junglers are being targeted. So while we are looking at the trash ban, actually bots are looking for more of a catch bans.
Right.
So they might be looking to see if they can split push, because split push is traditionally their weakness is catch.
Right.
And meanwhile, NeedThatJacket is banning out a lot of strong early game with the Sejuani, with the Hecarim.
Right. I'm gonna ask you right now about the meta, right? So, what are your thoughts now? Because MSI is going on, there's a lot of focus on sort of like the meta picks, right? Tahm Kench, Ferris, Kai'Sa, these sort of things have been very highly prioritized by some of the teams. I wonder what your thoughts here, because we see a lot of non-traditional picks and bans, right? Is this more of like a comfort thing, or they're not gonna play too much meta? What's the idea?
It seems like they aren't going too far into the meta. Okay, we see a Zoe ban that is meta, but looks like it should be more comfort bans since Trash, Ari, they are typically your safer picks,
Mhm.
so you don't actually ban them typically if you are going for the extremely high elo. But on the other hand, there's J4, there's Hecarim, there's Sejuani. They are all very uh, they are decent picks, but they haven't reached the OP tier yet.
Okay, so not exactly OP, but speaking of OP, we see Nautilus locked in on the blue side, and in response, it's the Sylas. Well, Nautilus has seen a lot of play in MSI. It's come to a recent popularity in the bot lane as the support role, where Sylas has been a mainstay in a couple of past 3-4 patches now. So we lock that in for what appears to be either mid or top lane.
Yes, Silas mid actually provides a lot of potential. We
Right.
see the Carters, so that means
Woohoo!
they secured a lot of magic damage on the ActuallyBot side.
Right.
And also, another thing to note is in solo queue actually, Nautilus mid is a thing, and it has been actually played in MSI for a couple of games as
Right.
well.
I feel like the idea behind it is because it's a very good wave clear, very accessible CC as well in team fights. So you have them in the mid lane, you just push and sort of try to make things happen in the side lane sort of thing, right? So we see the Xayah being locked in. Rakan is still open. Xayah Rakan, a favorite of the Invictus Gaming squad at MSI. Wondering if NeedThatJacket here is going to try and put on their best Chinese impression in the bot lane. We'll have to see.
So, what this means if they actually do pick Rakan is that Nautilus is most likely the mid laner.
Mm-hmm.
And Nautilus mid lane actually is very high burst, and you can look to actually have a Shen.
Okay. So talk me through this. It looks like they have multiple flex picks here in the form of Nautilus and Shen. What do you think is going on? This team is trying to flex here, trying to be creative, their pick and ban.
They're trying to bait out a few picks because
Right.
right now we can't be sure which lanes Nautilus and Shen can be going. Most likely they'll be going to support, not for Nautilus, and Shen will go top.
Okay.
But if in a case where Nautilus is mid, this actually provides a lot of flex potential because the bots do not actually know where these picks are going.
So hiding their trump cards up their sleeves a bit is the agenda here for NeedThatJacket. We see the Caitlyn locked in as we proceed into the second ban phase. So showing at least their jungler, a solo lane, and the AD carry here for the red side. Quite interesting. What is their focus now? They decide to ban out the Vladimir instead. Okay.
So that means they believe that the Nautilus is a support pick, either Nautilus or Shen,
Mm-hmm.
and now they are looking to ban out further magic damage dealers because on the side of blue side, they don't have much magic damage going in unless Nautilus is AP. But
Right.
on the side, if Nautilus is actually support, that means the magic damage picks, just by banning out they have a very strong teamfight comp with Nautilus and Shen. Xayah is a very safe pick, and therefore in this team comp, banning out a lot of the strong mages such as Vladimir and in this case Rice actually provides a very strong weakens the teamfight prospects for the blue side.
So what I'm hearing is that by banning out magic damage, they reduce the team fight capacity of the blue team, and because of that, the blue team now has limited options essentially.
Yes. Meanwhile, on the blue side, they have banned out supports because red side is very clear that they are not planning to. Their support pick has not been shown yet.
Right. But instead, it's a bunch of mage supports that they're banning out, and this I feel is a bit targeted because the meta has shown that Tahm Kench, Alistair, these sort of hard engaged Braum, these sort of peeling hard engaged defensive flexible supports have been sort of favored by the pros, but instead banning out the mage enchantment support style and then the opposition replying with the Lulu tells me that NeedThatJacket understands what ActuallyBot likes to play and it has done their homework a bit.
Yes, but looking into this, we can see that the red side, they have actually went with very defensive banning out the Jenna and the Morgana actually prevents red side from picking these peeling champions to prevent them from hard engaging onto their backline.
Right. Oh shit. Okay. That's gonna be a Master E lock-in. I don't know where that's coming from. Uh, this is not a drill, guys. I think that is an actual lock-in. So we're gonna see a Master E jungle here in what is the best of one tiebreaker. Winner moves on to the finals, and they're gambling on that Master E.
Do they believe that?
I don't know. I don't know. You gotta break this down for me, man.
Okay, so it's a very weird pick going into this, but I suppose Master E's job in this case will be the cleanup crew.
Right.
So you have two very strong front lines in Shen and Nautilus.
Okay.
You have a very strong team fighters in Lysandra and Zaya.
Right.
So all that's Master E's job is to just clear the whatever's that's left over.
Okay. So I get that, get the mop, get the bucket, come in and clean up the fights after the CC is done. Whereas, talk me through, we see them round out the composition with Aurelia here on the red side, ActuallyBots a bit more well-rounded, I want to say.
This does actually provide a bit more physical damage because there's Carters, there's Silas, there's a lot of magic damage there. But in this case, that means red side actually wants for a more skirmish style because of Aurelia Silas. But on the other hand, they don't have a very strong front line, so team fights might be a bit harder for them because blue side is very strong in team fights.
Right, so no true tank, no actual front line. They want to skirmish, but it's going to be a bit tricky. What do you think this is going to come down to? Like, what is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? What are we looking out for from both teams?
Blue side will be looking to just catch out with the Nautilus, with Shen coming in to protect the ADCs or the Master E. But red side just wants a small skirmish, so they should be looking for the side lane push, so they can force blue side to split apart and deal with them individually, which is actually where they are weaker at.
So blue team, look for picks, use the Shen, priority, global power. Red side, try to find more skirmishes, find them in the jungle. How do you think they're going to do that? Like, break it down step by step. If I was, trying to recreate this, right? How would I do it step by step if I was blue team and if I was red team?
Okay, so for the blue team side, they really want to get just their lanes. They want it to be as stable as possible. But red side wants to break into the Master E because Master E is probably the one that can deal with them the most, and Lysandra as well. So we are looking here. They really want to. Red side wants to set up their solo laners. It's Silas and Aurelia. This will make them have the split push capability. So that means they'll be very. Red will be very top focused.
Right.
Meanwhile, blue, they can focus anywhere they want, but most likely they'll be very bot focused just to match them on the other side of the map because Zaya, Nautilus, and Lysandra are very key to their victory here.
Okay, cool. So we expect top focus from the red side, whereas solo lanes across the board for blue should be relatively stable, is what you're saying. I dig that, but gambling all your chips on a Master E pick, which may or may not be cheese depending on how you're coming into this. I feel like non-meta picks are non-meta for a reason, but then again, we're alluding to this idea of comfort, right, at the start. How the picks and bans have shaped up to both teams expressing what they think is good instead of what the meta thinks is good. So we're leaning into the idea of comfort this time. So it's going to be up to the Master E, right? How comfortable he feels, whether the team is going to lend the assistance to help the jungler get rolling, as his name would allude to as well.
So in this case, both blue and red side, their junglers actually are very strong power farmers. So in this case, they might not see much of a fight, but blue side has a very strong potential to actually engage upon the red side in their jungle. So if anyone's doing any invades, usually NeedThatJacket will be pulling them off.
Okay, so in early invade cases, it's going to be NeedThatJacket, right? I think ActuallyBots, and you want to sort of default to getting vision down and trying to protect the Karthus, because in those 1v1 jungle skirmishes, Karthus isn't necessarily the best champion unless you can land the layways, and Master E has enough reduction, has enough damage to deal with the Karthus early on, I think.
Yes, so now it looks like the game is going to start soon.
Right. Do you think that we're going to see any level 1 shenanigans? Because every time I cast a community, or like, say, any tournament that is Southeast Asian in general, level 1 invades tend to be like a classic thing, right? I don't know why, but like Singaporean, Malaysian, Southeast Asian teams, they just love the level 1s.
In this case, the blue side has a very strong level 1 with Shen, with Nautilus.
Right.
Both of them took... Okay, in this case, Nautilus have Aftershock.
Yeah.
And Shen has Graphs.
Right.
So that means the blue side actually has very strong level 1 with Nautilus being able to soak up a lot of damage.
Uh-huh.
And in this case, blue side actually has a lot of potential to catch out anyone from the red side and
Right.
capture, get a first kill.
Get it?
Get a
I
small
get
lead.
it. Alright, okay, so level 1 advantage, as Off Knight has put it, is going the way of the blue team. Red side, I think they might want to be careful with this. The bot caliber quality plays might turn out to be a disaster for them if they do not keep up. We're loading into the rift, and as you can see, it's a bit unfortunate, but nevertheless we will have that Master Yi jungle for NeedThatJacket, whereas the bots here will be grouping up on the top side. Shenanigans coming in, seems to be spotted out early with a ward there. So that Shen in the top lane, Niwala is not going to be doing anything all too productive there. Level standard level 1 fan here from both teams.
But surprisingly, the red side didn't do a very smooth fan out.
Right.
Instead, they just went, most of the members just went top side just to guard, because I guess they suspected an early invade on the top side.
Okay.
Perhaps there's some insider strats we are not very
Ooh,
sure.
insider strats, yeah. I mean, the teams that have been playing here, this isn't the first game of the day, so they're definitely a bit more warmed up. Definitely expecting something, you know, from the opposition. It's not going to be an easy game after all. This is the tiebreaker. Both these teams are 2 wins and 1 losses, so do expect to see some interesting strategies. Master Yi itself, I think, is pretty interesting, but here we go. Starting on the blue buff is going to be Aloha on that jungle Karthus, and meanwhile, across on the same side of the map, it's Wild Boy rolling on this Master Yi. And like I said, he really has to get rolling if he wants to do something for his team.
So by the looks of it, it looks like it's very safe for now. We don't know if there's any action gonna be happening, but by the looks of it, both of their junglers are gonna path towards the top side.
Right.
It's a very standard thing, but that means we might see some action top side as well.
Right, so action topside might be the go-to here. Meanwhile, we saw in the mid lane, instead of the Conqueror, Flaxen on the Aurelia went for the press the attack, which is quite a dangerous rune if he can start landing the autos in the mid lane. However, it's the Lissandra, which is generally a very good answer pick. A bit of trading going on the top side, but nothing all too much is gonna happen. I say that, jumping back in with the Apprehend. But yeah, I mean, Lissandra generally counters or deals with the Aurelia pretty well because of the Aftershock, because of the root, and because of the poke.
Yeah, as we can see, it's just not much I really can do because of the return damage that Lissandra can do. So even if there's a stun coming in, Aurelia can only get a few autos off before he's forced to back off from a creep aggro, and Lissandra can do a lot of return damage during that time, that the opening of the windows.
Yeah, so definitely some exploitation that can happen there. Early action moving out of lane is this Lissandra to get a ward there, and it's going to be spotted out by the Scryer's Bloom. So meanwhile, Wild Boy rolling, heading up to the top side, overextended is Silas. He will see him with the ward in the river, and that grants him a window of safety in the top side.
So they have managed to find out where Master Yi is, so that means they know exactly how to deal with it. So for now, bot lane is very open, but the advantage is with blue side, so that's not much they can do with the knowledge there.
I have to remind our viewers that this is patch 9.10, and that means that the Scuttlecrab changes have come into effect now. Moving off the top side, no more mana left here. Flashing in and using the Alpha Strike as well. Great body block coming in, and the first blood with the flash auto attack, or rather the dash. A great micro coming in from the Master Yi, and the first blood going over to NeedThatJacket in the top side.
With that amount of decisiveness, even though there was a ward, I'm not sure whether the ward actually spotted him out, but they were prepared for it, and Master Yi just went all in just because Silas overextended way too much that even a ward wouldn't be able to spot him out in time.
Yeah, no mana as well. Big miscalculation coming in from Barton in the top side. The Silas overplaying his hand just a little. Meanwhile, Karthus doing Karthus things in the jungle, just farming up the Scuttlecrab. A bit of a delayed take, but still gonna get it nonetheless.
This is a safe window for Carter since Master Yi has been slotted top. Even if he backs off immediately or even rushes for Scuttlecrab, there won't be enough time to contest. But it looks like Carter is just gonna spot out E over here with the scrying off.
Yeah, like you mentioned, we'll spot the Master E out, taking this Crux on the bottom side. And this is a rubber bandit camp, right? It's under-leveled, so Master E's not going to get a lot of experience off this. I feel like right now, as you know, it's a jungle versus jungle thing. The Karthus is slightly ahead, but Master Yi has made some good efforts across the map on the top side. Coming in
Okay,
from
we're
the
looking.
gang, the dredge line is gonna land. A very delayed flash from Gem though, and with the ignite, it might just finish him off. A kill going over to the bottom side as well. Master E not even needed, and great play coming in from the duo of Nicholas as well as Beta, getting the kills themselves.
They actually burn out both the flash and the heal from the Caitlyn, so this can spell a return gank. And also, what happened there was that Caitlyn didn't flash the hook. He thought he has actually dodged it, but
Right.
Nautilus Q hook is a very deceptive spell because it actually moves. It has a bigger hitbox than it looks as if it has.
Right, so hitbox deceptively small will connect and eventually get them the kill. Now they're translating this objective, rather disadvantage over into objective here in the form of the Mountain Dragon, and as a lot of people will tell you, Mountain Dragon is pretty broken as a win condition. You stack 2 of those and Dragon, or rather Baron, is yours for free. Not to forget, they have a Master E, so that could be a further compounding factor. Meanwhile, topside trade, not topside, rather in the jungle, Master E is going to carry on and take his camps.
So what we're looking at here is actually that the top lane is very in favor of Shen just because of the early ganks. This actually provides him with a very strong window where Silas can't do much but just farm up, and he should be looking for that. But the wave is quite pushed up. It will eventually push back with the amount of creeps on the side of blue. But for now, Silas just has to respect Shen because Shen can and will go in.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that the wave is pushing across over to the Silas, and Master Yi has pathed to the top half of the map to reply this and at least answer in some sort of safety manner. Wave is pushing in. Let's take stock of the items after the kills. 2-0 on the board is NeedThatJacket. They do have a 1,200 gold lead. In the form of items, a very early blasting one in the mid lane. Bot lane has gotten the BF sword against the pickaxe, so that's a big lead for Nicholas. Meanwhile, the jungle items completed for both jungles, and top side is, well, they have the bits and pieces of everything, but nothing really working towards a big item just yet.
Silas actually has the Ninja Tabi, just shows how much respect he has for Shen, just because he's and Master Yi as well, because these two, they have so much auto damage.
Oh, level 6 uses the Highlander moving in. Here comes the Stand United to buy some time for this Karthus. That's going to be enough, but Apprehend moving forward. One more Alpha Strike is just there to buy some time. Meanwhile, the Lulu coming in to get the kill. Might just be a second conversion across. It's going to be a double kill, a triple kill coming in for the board of the bots. And wow, I was not expecting that turnaround, but the power coming in was really, really overwhelming.
So as we can see from the fight, it actually went very well. It was unexpected because Master Yi actually engaged upon them.
Right.
But the stolen ulti from Silas.
Might just see a replay here to walk me through, because I thought it was the Shen coming in, but instead it was going to be the stolen ultimate, like you mentioned, to get the kill across.
So as we can see going in, what happens was that Master Yi sees an opportunity, he went in, but Silas has the ult. He stole the ult before he backed to base, so Silas has an item advantage, while Shen doesn't have the follow-up in time. So this fight goes haywire. Just too much early damage coming on from red side to blue side, and this actually gave a huge advantage because blue side was not ready for that. It was a 4v3 in favor for the red side, and they managed to sweep the entire board with it.
Yeah, but meanwhile, back to life, where I think we're gonna see a kill come in from that Karthus Requiem there, so that puts them ahead now, 4-2. Here comes the Master Yi with the Highlander Alpha Strike forward, trying to dodge around the chains, flashing forward. Baron here, one more attack is gonna do it. He's kiting away, he's trying to get away from the Q, but no. The auto attack is gonna finish him off. A chain to the face is gonna put the Silas 2-1-3 now. The guy that fell early to the first blood has now taken back control on the top side, and they're wrestling control away. You know, on the bot side, action not stopping, death charge onto the Caitlyn. One more attack should finish her off. The ignite was taking and already down. The Wild Growth doing nothing to help her. Lulu now on the hunt, or rather on the run from the damage coming in. A great flash is going to keep her alive, and a juke to the side as well. The damage from the turret is going to finish her off. Oh man, that's a fuse bad, ladies and gentlemen. 6-3 is the score now, and 1,400 gold in the lead is the red team.
So the fight didn't actually go very well in the favor. It actually went very well in the favor for blue side, but they overcommitted way too much. And also another thing to note is that Nautilus didn't take up the turret as well as you expected to, and instead, just by taking one extra turret hit, Zaya went down to a return kill.
Yeah, I think a bit greedy there was Nicholas in the under turret play, but nevertheless they saw the window and they tried to go for it, just didn't pay off. Observer is kindly showing us that control ward which has garnered so much value for, oh, it's going to be missed again, so even more value being provided by that one control ward. Great stuff there, it's stuff you can bring into your solo queue games, and it's going to get juked out. Just uses it in time across the river to get the kill.
Control wards are so valuable in providing the vision control needed, and since they last forever, if you can actually sneak one in a very vital spot, being able to spot the opponent jungler actually paves the way to knowing what you can do and what you can expect from the enemy team as well. So remember kids, buy more controls.
Yeah, the control ward is definitely important and paying off in the bot lane once more. Using the dredge line onto the Caitlyn. She's been the focus so far. Highlander has been used by Master Yi. He's taking a lot of damage going in and he will get popped instantly. Here comes the counter engage though. Moving forward, there goes the damage from the Caitlyn. And it's going to finish her off in fact. Using the ace in the hole, charging it up, but it's not going to get the kill. Requiem now from the Karthus isn't going to do all too much in fact. So a good shield down from the Nautilus is going to keep her alive, but the Caitlyn damage together with the Irelia by staying alive was enough for them to turn that fight around. Vanguard's edge was just the icing on top.
Here what we see is that blue side didn't actually have the preparations for it because Master Yi hasn't completed his jungle item yet. So Master Yi's damage is significantly lower than what you expect from a Yi at this point of the game.
Yep.
He hasn't been managing to power farm. You can see at least a 20 CS lead from the side of Karthus, and this actually pays a lot into the team fight.
Yeah, and getting the dragon as well, so that sort of equalizes the board across for both teams. Really, I think if anything now, NeedThatJacket is at a big deficit because they've been engaging on these fights that Master Yi shouldn't be leading the charge on, right? Stand United has not been used productively to get these conversions, and as a result, they've really been falling behind.
So, but on the other hand, we can look at the bot side. The bot side for blue team is actually quite strong, and we can see that, however, the goal is more or less equalized soon enough. So we can just, blue team still looking for their win condition in their team fights, so they still have a window of opportunity to fight in. But they need that Master Yi to get his items first.
Yeah, I think the coordination as well is the big important part because Stand United has not been used on the Master Yi at all. It's always been, you know, Wild Boy rolling, running in alone and then getting caught and instantly dying before the Shen can do anything to help her. Or him rather, and that's not how you want to be winning these fights. You want to get the resets for the Master Yi, right?
Yeah, but as you can see right now, just the lack of item alone means that Karthus may actually have an advantage, which means Karthus is the one making a proactive play instead of Master Yi.
The Runic Echoes has been completed like you mentioned, coming in for the gank. The Wall of Pain is just going to slow down that Shen, but Shadow Dash away. It's going to keep her safe. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Frozen Tomb, here comes the Highlander flashing away, trying to land a stun. Not going to be needed because the distance has been opened up. Great cleanse, timely use of the Summoner spell to get out of that fight.
So what we can see here is that Master Yi is yet denied another opportunity, and this could actually play into further deficits because he's not been farming as well as he could. His red buff is up, his raptors are up, and he can look to get them and hopefully get his item in order to be prepared for the next fight.
I think one thing that we're failing to mention as well is that Master Yi, as the linchpin of this team, has been committing a lot of time to making these ganks happen. He's been forcing these ganks, but really with no return. It's like you mentioned, you know, should have been farming instead, should have been power farming, and as a result, it's fallen behind by, 14 CS, failing to convert even 0-3-1 scoreline. So this is really tough now if you're a team looking for this damage from the former Master Yi. Oh, using the ultimate hijack away, Stand United now is the option available for the Silas if they want to make the play here.
So we can, in this case, we might actually see more better usage of Stand United actually from the red side, despite the fact that they don't have the Shen. But in this case, it's still going to be a bit more passive for now.
Tell me about what you think is going to happen in the next couple of minutes, because we're reaching that tipping point, right, where I think the red side is almost going to unlock their full potential when they can start making things happen with the Karthus, with the Aurelia, as well as the Silas. So what do you think? What are your predictions here?
We'll see a lot of skirmishes around. Karthus will be leading quite a bit of it just with his ulti because he's just that scary of a threat right now. He has completed the M-Pen item, and this actually gives him a bit of more damage, especially since most of the champions on the blue side don't build much MR until significantly later. As well as we can see right now, Since red side is looking for more skirmishers and the split push, they can actually start that as soon as they secured a lane. So they might be looking for a dive with the Stand United from Silas, surprisingly. And they might look to siege down a turret.
Okay, so perhaps play the side lane, but with all turrets now still up, I think split pushing might not be an option all too much. Going in on the mid lane, Master Yi coming in once more for the gank. Stand United though will be used to back up the Aurelia. Vanguard's Edge is looking to turn this fight around. Here comes the Requiem, here comes the damage, and they might be finally getting it. Here comes the counterplay though. So a bit of a stonewall coming in from the Shen. A great use of the Stand United to counterplay that. I was so excited for a moment for them to clean this one up, but finally the teamwork and communication coming in from the Shen to get these kills in place.
They were so... Red side was so prepared for the fight, but we can see in a replay soon, they actually went in quite heavily.
Yeah, so walk me through this.
So in this case, what happens was that even though Master has finally completed his item at this point, and then even though the Stand United coming from Silas, in this case, the Stand United from the other side actually manages to get quite a bit of we can go back into game.
Oh, okay, we're back in live, right? So there was a Rift Herald contest that wasn't going all too well for either team, but they will be moving forward. Hijack used onto Lysandra, so Frozen Tomb is available for the Silas. But meanwhile, with all the shenanigans happening on the top side, it's going to be the first turret claimed here for Nikolaus on that Xayah. A lot of go in the pocket of the Xayah, who has skipped the Infinity Edge and instead gone for the Zeal item, which is really the itemization of choice now. It's the most efficient one, right? You get a lot of stats instead of an empty crit slot in the form of the Infinity Edge.
Okay, so this item choice is actually slightly better for fights early, and this is what blue side should be looking forward, since they need as much damage as they can. In this case, proccing the lethal tempo, getting more damage.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're just on the early leads from the early ganks. To be more precise, the Nautilus engages actually gives them quite a bit of a lead. They give quite a bit of space for the blue side to actually get the first turret.
Right, so great play here from Beta in the early game. Puts the bottom lane ahead just by nature of good individual mechanics. We see the Nautilus leading the charge into the jungle. Not much vision down around this river for the red team, so the bots will have to back off. Meanwhile, the Jackets getting the dragon for themselves. 2-1 is the scoreboard for Dragons, Mountain, and a Air Drake for NeedThatJacket. Meanwhile, tussling the top side, getting the Tiamat as well as the helmet down. Adaptive helm is going to be enough for him to deal with the damage coming in. Good amount of MR trading back and forth inside the dodge zone is going to be able to mitigate a lot of the damage here.
So in this case, it's actually very, very back and forth. But I think Shen actually has a lead and he's going in.
Yeah, using the taunt forward. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we see a gank being set up here. I say set up, it's so predicted, and because there are 4 members here. Trying to cancel the recall and be a bit cheeky here is Barton. Has to be careful with the spacing. The great flash taunt in and an additional auto attack in from Nikolaus to finish this one off. Not expecting the entrance of that Xayah now. This is Rift Herald that has been opened up. This is the map that has been opened up because of that Silas that has been picked off.
It looks like the red side actually wanted the Rift Herald, but just that death on Silas alone is good enough to bring the advantage back to blue side. So they have the priority, and therefore red side cannot make the play yet. They need the Silas.
Unable to make the play, have to back off. Looking at the vision around this, we see the control being handed over. The pings coming down as well. That is a Caitlyn that is alone under turret and definitely not in the right position. Flashing forward the drag line and the depth charge as well with the Wild Growth to buy some more space. World of Pain coming down for the counter engage. They're kiting back and forth. This is decent spacing, but the Master Yi has been left unchecked, and with the Highlander will get the first kill, or the assist rather. Requiem coming in to get a counter kill, and they're going to pick off the Xayah now. Off the side, it's going to be the Aurelia. This is a fight on multiple fronts. Meanwhile, moving forward is the Aurelia is trying to get the confirmation kill. Caitlyn will fall, and so will the Lysandra and the Nautilus. So all across, it's going to be a 2-4-3 in the favor of the bot side. Meanwhile, moving forward with the Highlander is the Silas. He's getting a lot of damage done in a double kill now. So they get 4, they lose 2, but you know what? I'll take that trade any day.
So you can go back to the replay soon.
Hold on, they're still fighting.
No, they still fight.
Classic Southeast Asian League of Legends as they move in with Apprehend, get the damage down, but the dodge zone is more than enough. I think he might have been more than he can chew here. Barton moving forward aggressively. fighting in the wave still, but with the adaptive helm, he's not doing any damage at all to this Shin.
The slow chip away, but then they're very prepared for the dive here. Sorry. What we can see is just very passive from this.
We'll have the replay up in a couple of seconds as we walk through that fight. It was really messy because there were multiple points of focus, so we will have that to walk through the replay, right, and see what happened at multiple points.
So for now, they are looking at. Okay, so the replay is up.
Yep.
I can see here we just jump in straight into the fight. What happens is that even though they have a very strong engage onto the Caitlyn, Lulu comes in time. More of red members actually surround the blue team.
Right.
So the fight breaks into two where we go in and they just survive with so little HP, but that means Carter's, even though he's dead, he's just going to bring in the wreck to him. And this actually provides a huge window of opportunity. And then this fight breaks into two. You can see.
Back to life. Master Yi dying there. A bit unfortunate, but I think overstepping his boundary. This is the classic Master Yi, right? You get one kill and you think you're super strong and you move forward and then just you get wiped out. This is the window here for them to push down the mid lane because they have 5 members. They're trying to make their pressure known as the dredge line has been used forward. The tower has fallen though, so they're fighting under open space. Moving aggressively forward is the Silas who has the wild growth on her. So now moving back, they have to kite out this fight. They lose 2 members early on just because of the over-aggression. They should have known that the tower was going to be falling. But staying and overstaying their welcome, they lose 3 members for nothing and now open up the Baron for a bit more control.
But in this case, I don't think they will be able to take the Baron. They can only get some vision on it. But on the other hand, this still opens up a huge window of opportunity. And as we can see from the previous team fight, it actually went so in favor of red side that I'm actually worried if they are able to pull off the win condition, which is a team fight, going forward.
Yeah, I think with the lead now, it might just be the straw that breaks the camel's back because now team fighting might not be an option anymore. For NeedThatJacket, they might have to default to some other shenanigans to get themselves back into the game. Nevertheless, a Master Yi is still a Master Yi who has that Green Sue's Rage Blade, so all eyes focused onto that single member to pull out the damage necessary. They do have adequate CC, as you mentioned, and very reliable crowd control as well. It's up to the Master Yi to get things done. Meanwhile, okay, on the map we see the push coming in off the top side, fending off the wave. Dragon will be spawning in a couple of seconds on the bottom half of the map, and it's gonna be an Inferno Drake, so this is a high value one.
However, you can see that it may be well warded, but they don't have the members in the key positions to defend those wards. So vision will be slowly given back to the red side, so this might be a very hot contest in the next fight.
Like you mentioned, vision in control of the red team. Pulling the dragon out with Karthus here. They should be making short work of this dragon, right? Yeah, there you go. Within a couple of seconds it will fall. There was no option for them to even default to pressure the Baron across either because of how quickly that dragon fell. So,
but on the top side we can see that Shen actually pushed up the wave. He's not able to get the turret, he's just able to push up the wave, but it seems like it's good enough to pull Irelia into top lane. Let's see if we can make anything happen off this play, but they are mostly gathered around. I guess they'll be farming up a bit more, waiting for their next pick opportunity.
Right, and moving into the Baron pit now, we can see the Nautilus clearing out the river. The map movements, both supports are trying to contest the vision as we see a hook in onto the Caitlyn. A lot of damage on Gem, who has overstepped his boundary a bit, and that forces the teleport out from the Silas to reply. Requiem coming in. Whoa! We'll just pop her! Where did the damage come from? Across the map, the Silas, or rather the Requiem from the Karthus making the play.
Xayah actually has ulti there, but he didn't respect that amount of damage coming in. He didn't expect it, and now Baron's just open up for red side.
Yeah, I have to say, maybe a bit of a mistake there from Niklas. Going down to the Requiem means that there is no AD carry in this fight, and they can just get the Baron if they want to. Engaging forward is the front line of the Jackets, and well, they're just going to get popped instantly. The Master Yi and the Lissandra not even surviving for a second longer. Baron will go the way over to about bots, and now the red team solely in control of this game.
So what happened there was that because the key member of blue side, Niklaus, did not manage to survive the Carter's ulti, this opened up the window. They didn't have the damage yet. They're still relying a lot on the Xayah just to dish out damage. And without that Xayah, the Baron was very open. There's nothing much they can do because they just lack the damage. Master Yi hasn't popped off yet, so everything is on Zaya's back in order to carry this part of the fight.
Yeah, definitely a disaster now moving forward. As you mentioned, the damage not online yet for Master E, and Zaya has to be careful about her positioning, so we're falling to a point where it's almost an inescapable hole, a big deficit here for NeedThatJacket. Meanwhile, actually bots with the Baron empowered minions will be pushing the lanes out. You talked about 131, this is the composition that's in effect now. Aurelia top side, Silas in the bottom end. They have the Caitlyn, Lulu, and Karthus hanging around the middle half of the map. So 131 being pushed in, Barton now getting engaged upon by Lissandra, but I don't think that Lissandra wants that fight, man.
Lissandra has not built Lissandra's not built to prepare to fight the Silas yet. The Silas has more damage, but Lissandra still doesn't have the Proto Belt. Lissandra doesn't have some MR, so that means the fight looks like it will go very closely, but it will probably favor the Silas in this case. But on the other hand, Shen still has a teleport. The Shen still can use that teleport. Okay, we're looking at this. It looks like the bot turret secured for red side.
Yeah, might be a collapse though, as we see the Caitlyn walking down, and the auto attack is chunking out the Master Yi by quite a bit, and that was just a empowered rapid fire cannon crit. You see members of ActuallyBots grouping out here, bottom side, 4 of them are sieging down onto this bot tier 2. I want to point up the idea that how both the Silas and the Aurelia have itemized for split pushing. We see a Lich Bane and Wit's End respectively on them, so this is a lot of pressure now that they've grouped up.
But in this case, we can see that Zaya wasn't prepared for that. To be fair, there are some Baron empowered minions, but oh, we're looking at engage?
Yep, they're moving in, just a bit of a full engage in fact, just faking them out, getting the hook in and then backing off, saying, you know what, psych, I'm not taking that fight, because we are not going to win that. Just letting the 2 Baron empowered minions siege down onto the bot tier 3, the Call of Doom moving in to scare them off, but this should be short. These cannon minions should be making short work of the turret.
Blue side needs to pull a trigger, and it looks like they have tried to.
Yeah, they're going in, they're trying to get the backline, but it's just going to be popped. There goes Lissandra, there goes Nonalaus, and there goes the Master E. They do get a Silas in response, but the damage is too much coming in. Ace in the hole being used, but it's not going to do anything as ActuallyBots walk in and siege down. A Requiem being used to finish off the kill on the top side, and this should be the game going the way of ActuallyBots. The Caitlyn, although she was at an early deficit, was left unchecked enough to do damage in these fights, and the solo laners as well stepping up in a big way, not to mention the Karthus as well.
So you look at this, they'll close out the game, but what happened there was that Zaya was not prepared for a lot of fights. Master E went in for too many engages early on. This actually puts Blue side on a huge deficit where they really want to prepare for team fights.
Yeah, I think a bit of a mistake there coming in. Definitely not reading the situation well, but you know, congrats to ActuallyBots, you know, proceeding now into the finals to play against T11 Square, who in my books were the big favorites coming in. They have 2 on the roster, at least 2 big players, Ice Destiny as well as Enner. So they are at least the favorites for SP coming into, you know, big pro established experienced players.
Yes. So we will go into the games soon, but in this case, who do you think will be more favored for the match?
I definitely have to answer T11 Square, because if not, Ice Destiny is just going to be upset at me. So I definitely think that T11 Square is just going to 2-0 them. Not a favoritism aside, right? They have enough experience and shot calling to make these very decisive wins. So in my book, I think T11 Square is going to be cleaning out the tournament and representing SP.
As you can see from the previous game, the fights look very chaotic, but it doesn't look very coordinated on the side of on the red side. So that means, yeah, I do have to agree with you that T11 Square looks like they'll be more favorites because they are well calibrated for this.
Right. So with that, guys, I think we're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, it should be the best of 3, the first best of 3 for today, to decide the victors of the Singapore Polytechnic selection and who will be the champion for Singapore Polytechnic.